Hello, everyone, and welcome to Namaste Lake Chapala. It is so great to be here on this Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, the day after expressing our gratitude, which we're really called to do every moment, to be in that place of divine gratitude, which allows every movement of grace, which teach us how to let go, how to let go and to surrender into that divine ocean where we are dissolved, where only the truth that is true forever is revealed. That's what we're here for. So I'm so grateful to be able to share with you guys on this Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. I hope you all had, those of you in the US at least, I hope you had a wonderful day with your family on one level or another. I had a Zoom call with my whole family. And trust me, when the Twyman clan gets together, it is quite an adventure. And we're going to have quite an adventure today because I want to share something that I found that I wrote quite a while ago, but it started off with a quote that I rediscovered from, of all people, St. Francis. So this is what St. Francis of Assisi had to say. We're going to, yes, Baraka. I know it's shocking that I would read something from St. Francis. So you're going to love this. He said, if you're not willing to be a fool, you probably already are. Isn't that great? If you're not willing to be foolish in terms of the ways of the world and the established manner of things, if you're not willing to go against the current, then you probably are foolish. You're probably already there. I've mentioned this before, but it reminds me of the wonderful poster that my friend Roger has in Elora, Ontario, in his B&B. It's in the restroom, the men's room. I've mentioned it before if you have heard this. It's a picture, a drawing of hundreds of sheep, all white, all cascading toward a cliff, and they're all just going right over that cliff. And there's one sheep, a black sheep, right in the middle, going the opposite way, saying, "Excusez-moi, excusez-moi." That's us. That's what Francis is saying here. If you're not willing to be foolish in the eyes of the world, which is to focus on one thing and one thing only, that you are whole, that you are holy, that you are complete, that you are one with God. If this is not the single focus of your life, then you probably already are at what St. Francis would call a fool. So today we are going to claim a different level, a different way of divine foolishness, which means that we are going to realize what really is happening and what really is not happening. And I want to begin that discussion with a little story that I wrote quite some time ago. It's very short, but it's a story of a master, a woman master who is with her disciples. And this is interesting because this morning I opened up Richard Rohr's email that he sends out every day, which I love, and it was from Thomas Merton. He was putting a section from Thomas Merton talking about racial inequality and the different levels of ways that uh, we can work through that. And so I right after that I found this story. So let me read this. Why are you so busy trying to make the world a better place? The master asked several of her disciples who were painting protest signs. We are doing it because people need our help and there's injustice in the world, they said to her. She laughed and picked up one of the signs, reading it out loud. Stop the violence. Yes, it's a very good idea, but do you really think this will help? If there are enough people carrying signs like this one, how could it fail? They answered. So, if there were 1 million people or even 2 million people in the streets carrying signs like this one, there would be no more violence. Is that what you're saying to me? One of the students thought about her question then answered, perhaps there would be peace in some areas and violence in others. Wouldn't that be a step in the right direction? Why are you trying to take small steps when you can fly over the top of the battlefield and end all conflict? Not just what you see in front of you, the master said to them. Tell us how to accomplish this, and we will surely do it, they said. She smiled and said to them, wake up. That's all you need to do. Then all the conflict you perceive will dissolve into an ocean of bliss. Wake up, and everything else will take care of itself. Now, you may be having one of many reactions to that. One reaction may be just to feel the truth, to feel the brightness of what she's expressing here. Just wake up. You don't need to try and solve all the problems in the world. Realize that there's only one problem and there's only one solution, and it's in your mind. There's no world for you to save. That's either going to be the most liberating news or the most frightening news. And it usually always begins by being frightening. What do you mean there's no world for me to save? Look around you. What, are you just an ostrich? You're going to put your head in the sand? No, that's not what we're saying at all. You're going to put your head in the clouds, not the sand. You're going to rise to heaven. You're going to lift above the battlefield, as she says here, and realize that there is only one problem and there's only one solution, and that's love. And it's in my mind that I can make that choice, and in doing so, dissolve the whole thing. And you don't understand that, and it doesn't make sense until you have the experience, and then you know it. Now, you may choose to return. You may choose to bring your head out of the clouds and come back, and you will interact, and you will be called upon to serve and to share and to inspire. But the answer is not here in the conflict. That's all that's being said. You're not going to solve or find any answer within the conflict. There was a little something after this that I wrote that says, if you think there's a choice to make, then the choices to make will never end. You see, that's what this story is saying. The injustice will never end. The choices, the battle will never end. You may solve it here, but it pops up there and then over in another place and 100 more. Just wake up. That's what we're being called to do. There's only one choice to make, and it's already been made. And here's the choice. Are you ready? You're not really here. And you will realize that only when you are here totally. Let me say that again. You're not really here, and you will realize that only when you are here totally. Not partially. Not when you're here in stages or steps or partialities. When you are here totally, then you will realize that the truth of who you are is not found within the conflict, is not found within the separate self-reality. The truth of who you are can only be found in, we'll say, heaven, or we'll say that unified state. Heaven is not a place, remember. Heaven is a state of mind, a state of consciousness, available to you right now. Not when you die, but right now. It's not a place that you go. It's a realization, a full, total, complete realization when you simply open your eyes and see what has always been so clear, what has never been compromised, what has never been threatened. Nothing real can be threatened. Remember that. And what's the other part? Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. And if that's what you want, the peace of God that surpasses all understanding, as St. Paul said, And it does surpass all the understanding of this world, but it does not surpass the understanding of, shall we say, God, or shall we say, wholeness. Because remember, there is no God outside you, because you are. All of that is contained within you, and you are contained within all of that. And these are riddles to the mind until they're no longer riddles, but the truth that you allow and you breathe and you sink into. So let that be today. Let that truth dissolve you today, because there is no world for you to save. There's only one problem and there's only one solution, and they're both found within you. So I hope that made some sense, and now I'm going to turn it over to Vicky to make even greater sense of it. Good morning,
Good
Vicky.
morning. Morning, Jimmy. Well, you went right to the heart of the matter. Thank you. And what a grateful way to start the weekend, but right at the answer. And it's true, we choose one consciousness or the other all the time. And as soon as we engage in any way by defending or attacking or judging, that would be the general word, we've chosen the thought system of separation, the one problem that we could be timely being separate from our source. And when we step into the now and live with present openness, present awareness of just being here now, for me, I look at it as be here with wonder. That's a way of knowing that I don't know. I'm just here with wonder, and wonder is a state of welcome. It's a state of openness. It is a state of I don't know. And if I stop projecting, and that's what we were talking about during the week, that when Bob Newhart says stop it, it's stop projecting. That's all it is. Stop putting our old unconscious ideas that have been running us into the present and then into a future that hasn't happened yet. If we can stop it and be fully present now, fully present to the now is full attention on our holiness, because that is all that's true. And we don't do that often enough. We're either preoccupied or we're thinking ahead. But look at children, look at the animals. Present wonder, present in the moment now, is one of the ways, one of the avenues to reach that experience of consciousness, of holiness, of that unity. That unity consciousness isn't far away. It couldn't be. It's just a shift of our attention. So if our whole attention is on present wonder and welcome of this moment, then all that's happening in this moment is the light that we are. And if we do want to be helpful here in time to our brothers and to the sheep that are falling over the edge, all we would have to do is what you said, wake up or stay in the now. Even if we haven't had an experience of that, and it is an elevated state of consciousness, that state of realization where spaciousness and light is our reality and it's not limited and it's there, it's not cut up in pieces. Meeting the conditions for it by refusing to project and stopping every judgment, just stop it. Really, just stop it. Then the inevitable realization comes to us. And even without seeking it, and Christina talks about this a lot, to seek enlightenment would be just another way of putting it outside of us.
Mhm.
If we can just rest here in the now with welcome and stop the judgment, that's stopping duality in our own experience. Then we disempower the system of duality. Because no matter what we decide, once we've decided to believe in ourselves as bodies, all those decisions are going to end up one form or another of upset or death or despair sooner or later. When we decide for reality, for light, for love, that's the name that's universal. Once we decide for love, then the answer is always some expression, some experience of love, unbounded, unlimited. even if it's a bird or butterfly lands in our hand. So it doesn't matter whether we've had that great an experience or not. If we can stop the experience of a self divided, of thinking of ourselves as limited and in bodies and insecure and all kinds of things, and just stay present to right now and wonder and welcome everything, then we will see that love has to emerge because there isn't another option in that state of consciousness. Thanks, Jimmy.
I just want to just pause for a second here. Speaking of gratitude and Thanksgiving, just to feel gratitude that we have a dear sister like Vicky who
Oh,
can just day after day, just so simply and so elegantly bring our attention back to this simple truth, this simple way of being. So I just want to express my love and gratitude to you, Vicky. You give us so
thank you,
much every
Jimmy.
day.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for giving me a place to share. And I come home every day when I'm here with you and all of us together. Thank you. I
Mm,
love you.
yes, thank you, dear.